We would like to thank you for reading this letter and for prioritizing student safety and comfort at Monte Vista Dances.
We hope that we can work together to reach a new level of respect among students and administration.
As the current situation reflects a need for improvement that cannot be ignored.
The names below are but a small portion of Monte Vista students who support this initiative.
In response to the events at the Welcome Back Dance, Monte Vista ASB decided to write a letter to administration as they felt there's no clear dance policy in place. Both ASB and the administration seem to come to the consensus that there needs to be more communication going forward. Because of the chaos of homecoming week, ASB wasn't able to release the new dance policy before the homecoming dance. But they are now working on reforming the new dance policy to make it more clear and suitable for Monte Vista's current students.
How all of a sudden it got to be a front-to-back situation where people are dancing like this, I don't know. I don't know how that ever happened. But this is me. This is Mrs. Scott speaking. This isn't a social event. The girl in front has no idea who's behind them. The guy in back doesn't necessarily know who the girl is in front. Sometimes they do, not all the times. And I think that there is disrespect there. That's my biggest thing. The minute it becomes disrespectful or if somebody feels unsafe, then we've violated it.
And we understood where they were coming from, but as ASB, we feel that we need to voice what our class says. So we wrote this letter to kind of ask if we could, make a more clear dance policy and move forward so that this doesn't happen again.
And once we reached 200, we were like, okay, that was what we wanted. That's enough to represent a need for change, or that's enough for a call to action to administration for us to send this letter to them. And then once we had the 200, we put it in an envelope and we handed it to Ms. Scott's secretary.
So I think Mr. White probably was working with the leadership kids to come up with a letter, and I thought it was very well written, very professional. It wasn't emotional. It was, I think they really want to partner with us to see what the next steps can be.
And so I think the key here is having some dialogue with current students, and there's going to have to be some compromise. Maybe administration needs to be a little bit more flexible as to what we define as appropriate. And perhaps some of the students are going to realize this is a school-sponsored event that needs to be safe for everyone, and there needs to be some compromise and flexibility on their side as well. I think the answer really lies in the middle there somewhere, and hopefully through this process, that clarity around what's acceptable and what's not can kind of be ironed out, so to speak.
So one of and it's in the student handbook, the consequence if you were caught using drugs or alcohol at dances, you lose dances for 365 days. That was all written by student leadership about 12 or 13 years ago. And at the time, the culture of the school was alcohol was a huge issue, just a huge issue. It was terrible. Every single dance, we had students that were drunk, ambulances, police. It was a very terrible situation.
So they wrote the policy to target that issue. It wasn't written by administration. So she basically told us, you know what, I don't know how we're going to do this, but you guys can draft a new version of the policy, and when you guys are happy with it, I'll come back in, we can talk about it, and if it's good, we'll reissue the dance policy just how you guys said in a school loop email, and we'll send it to the school.
It was the same thing when we came up with the alcohol thing. It took a while. It took months for them to come up with it. But when they came up with it, they realized that this was going to make it a safer, saner place to have school dances. And it's been in existence ever since then. So that's the value.
After I posted it on Facebook, I ate some food, I took a nap, and I woke back up and I just clicked on the doc and I saw over 100, 200 people were viewing the doc at the same time, and I could see all the little anonymous elephant is on the doc, and it was so cool. I was like, wow, there are people who are seeing this, there are people who are being affected, and there is change happening at Monte Vista, and it just felt really cool to be able to say I did my job and the student body is receptive and they are thankful and things are happening. I liked it.